Okay, so the NYPD may file serious charges against a woman who allegedly attacked a black teenager at the Arlo Hotel over the weekend. Take a look.
My son has nothing to do with her.
No.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the lobby.
Then show me the proof. No, he's not leaving. Show me the proof.
Crazy person saying she took his iPhone and trying to go into his pocket, trying to go into my pockets. This is unacceptable.
Calls are also growing for the Manhattan District Attorney to file charges against that woman seen in that video. A rally is planned at City Hall Park later this morning. Civil rights activist Reverend Sharpton will be there, and he's joining us live this morning right now to weigh in on this incident. Good morning, Reverend Sharpton, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, it's so sad that we are closing out the year 2020 with another one of these incidents, and even worse, that a lot of people are relieved that no one in this incident was maimed, hurt, or killed, because that is where we are right now. Reverend, have you spoken to the family? How are they doing after this?
I've spoken with Attorney Crump, who's representing the family, and I'm meeting the family at the rally today, and I've arranged for them to also have a conversation with the District Attorney, Cyrus Vance, after the rally. They are shaken. I'm told that the absolute, the impact of this, particularly on their son, has been something that you just can't fathom would happen to you. He's going to have brunch with his father, who's a noted award-winning musician, in a hotel, and all of a sudden you are assaulted by a woman and accused of being a thief, basically because of the color of your skin. It is by the grace of God no one was hurt, but you are hurt psychologically and you are assaulted. This woman should be prosecuted. This woman ought to be investigated as a hate crime, and the one that in the hotel that automatically assumed that she's telling the truth and that this young man was a suspect at best, he ought to be investigated as well. Yeah, this goes on too often every day.
You touched on a lot of topics here. Let's unravel them. You were talking about the manager there who, Mr. Harrison, Rodney Harrison, says that he actually empowered this woman. But I want to get back to his son, the 14-year-old, who says indeed he was shaken. He would not have known what to do had his father not been there. But I want to ask you specifically about these charges against this woman, because the chief of detectives said that they're looking into charges against that woman for assault, grand larceny, attempted robbery, possibly even attempted robbery, but so far no indication of a hate crime is being on that list. Why do you think that is? And I know you're pushing for it.
I do not know why they have not put hate crime there. You must assume, since there are other people in the lobby, then why did she pinpoint this young man? And why all of a sudden are we dealing with the fact that the color of your skin automatically makes you a suspect? And you can only imagine if his father wasn't there, where this could have gone. Thank God his father was there and there was someone there with him, because he might have been handcuffed and treated any kind of way, particularly with the manager siding automatically with the woman. So I think the reason that you've seen such reaction from people around the city and people like me getting involved is because we know this story too well, and we want to deal with it, because when we see this young man, that could have been any of our kids, and any of the circumstances could have led to something a lot more that would have been physically damaging and legally damaging. Yeah. This young man could have gone through the system just on the word of a white woman that sees a black as a suspect. It reminds us of earlier this summer, in the summer, the woman in Central Park saying, "I'll call the cops on a black who just asked her to put a leash on her dog." How often do we have to see this before the criminal justice system tell whites in this city that being black is not against the law, you're not an automatic suspect.
Well, in that particular case, the DA did file a charge for falsely filing a police report against that woman that you talk about, Ms. Cooper. I want to get back, though, to Mr. Harold. I said Harrison earlier. I meant Mr. Harold. He says, to your point about the manager, that he was empowering this woman. And in fact, we have a statement from the hotel saying that they are committed to making sure this type of racial profiling never happens again at any of its hotel. But is it almost like the hotel itself is saying that this is a race-based incident, yet the police are not looking into it or have not decided on it being that as of yet?
Well, I think that is part of why we want to talk to the District Attorney Vance. If the hotel is in and of itself, which is the location where this happened, is saying we will not tolerate any further racial profiling, which means that they're seeing this as racial profiling. Why isn't the police department seeing it as racial profiling? Why isn't the DA going to move on that? Because racial profiling is a crime, and filing a false report based on race is a crime. So that is why we need to challenge that and why we need to be forthcoming with that. And if it was not racial profiling, then what was the factor that made this woman decide that this young man was the one that stole a cell phone that she had just left in her Uber car?
Reverend Al Sharpton, before you leave, I do want to talk to you about how the Manhattan District Attorney's Office is handling this case. They've chosen not to release this woman's identity, even though they know who she is. What are your thoughts on that? You mentioned the Amy Cooper, Christian Cooper case, Central Park. They did release her identity. We saw what happened. She lost her job. They took her dog. Do you think they should also release this woman's name?
I think they should release her name as they do every other person. And certainly I tend to ask that question when we talk with the DA today. There is clearly no reason to treat her any differently, not only than Ms. Cooper, but that any number of blacks that are accused of a crime or others in this city. So I think they should release the name. I think that this woman should not be allowed to go around assaulting people, accusing people, and then say, but I'm somehow supposed to operate under a cloud of some kind of anonymity. Based on what? You are the reason that we're even dealing with this situation and traumatizing this young man.
All right, Reverend Al Sharpton, as always, we appreciate your insight, your time with us today. Thank you so much. And if we don't see you, have a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.